Alright, hello Logical Tips. I am Will of Loyal Macaroon, and today I wanted to do a VOD review of your D.Va, Zarya, Orisa, and briefly Rhine, as it says up here. I hope the video is okay with you. I just feel it's a little easier to show what I mean sometimes, if I need to. I've watched just the first kind of attack round, not too far. But, yeah, hopefully I can help you out. I'll try to keep you audible, just because you do talk a lot, so you want to use it. You seem to like your communication, so I'll try to address that. So, your choice here to pick Zarya, like a lot of people will say, oh, you should have picked a main tank. I think if you're not comfortable with being Rhine or whatever tank, I think just pick with the one you're more comfortable with is a better choice, even if it's not better for the composition. It's just, if you're bad with Rhine and you're okay with Zarya, at least you're doing something, whereas you'll just be dying with Rhine. Here you say, are we going front or left? What I assumed from that is, like, are we going left after the choke, which you guys do, and you go out the left door? I feel like front or left always means the choke, never like just go always the front door. There's no point in communicating that.
You don't have to do it all the time, but let's go. Yeah. Oh, I got a pick. Is it?
And you said a pick here, which is like a kill. Just hitting someone is nothing. I really like your bubble there. Clearly you're a little confused on the map because, I mean, you missed the door entirely, which is whatever. But the bubble, I think, was really good. Like, that was great timing. Obviously, like, now is kind of when I would bubble Reaper, and as you said over there, that it was too early. But Zarya is a tricky character. Like, it's not really intuitive when you need to bubble people until you like play her a lot and kind of understand her. I really like your bubbles, actually. Like, for yourself, I think you've got them down pretty good. And so, like, there, the Reaper's still going, but he got hooked by the Roadhog. That'd be another, like, hooks are a great time to bubble. And I think the other team has a Brigida as well. At least they're in second. Yeah, they have the entire defense. Once she shield bashes, after that is another great time, because, like, if she shield bashes someone, she's probably committing heavily. I think that's a good bubble too. Sorry, I have you muted just because you talking confuses me a bit, but I know it's confusing, but like, you can see the Orisa is quite low. You should communicate that. Like, I'm sure your Reaper and Zenyatta know that as well, but if you are going to be so talkative, that's a very important thing to be calling out.
Here comes Bridget.
And for Brigida, or Bridget, as some like to say, I guess, you say, like, break her shield, but it's really not worth it if she's alone like this, because you can just maneuver around her, right? So for Zarya specifically, you should just be using your right clicks and try to, like, aim around her feet so that the splash will still damage her, instead of using your primary fire. I mean, you mix it, you do kind of both, but yeah, don't worry about breaking her shield in this situation.
Here comes Bridget. Break her shield. Break the shield. Nice. We got Hanzo. Get your pick over here.
And I don't know what Hanzo get your pick over here, but you should instead just be calling Anna to the left. Like, it's more important to communicate where the enemy is if they're out of position like that Anna is, than telling Hanzo to come in. Especially Hanzo, like a sniper. Just kind of let him set up where he wants.
All right. Let's go to the right side. Let's go to the right side. Yeah, right side. Hey, not yet. Now let him poke for a little bit.
And you seem to like to poke a lot. It's fine with some characters, but Zarya, it's just a waste of time. you want to be kind of moving pretty quickly because you know, your strength is completely based off your charge. So just standing here poking is not going to do much, and lobbing these shots in isn't really doing much damage to them either. So I would, I mean, you don't even waste time doing it anyways. And I noticed you did it on the first, that little left corner where you bubbled the Reaper as well. I mean, this kind of composition, you kind of need to be the leader. Like, I know she's not a main tank, but you're like the best they have because like you don't really want a Roadhog going in either. So like I feel like you kind of here and before you're waiting for Reaper or Hanzo to kind of push in, but you're the one that needs to be the one taking the damage.
I'm only at 47.
And it's fine to not go in because of that, but as Zarya, you should use this. Just if you're gonna back out, just use your bubble on it, get a bit of charge, and then walk away, because that's another easy 40%.
Oh shoot! All right, back up.
Instead, you have no charge, right? That's a good bubble on the Hanzo too.
All right, going left, guys. We're going left. Yeah, use it when they use something. Oh no!
So yeah, like here you prematurely bubble, but like I said, wait for her to shield bash, and then you can kind of assume that she's going to heavily commit to you. Instead, she didn't swing once, she just kind of walked away. And that, like, you should have definitely bubbled. I know it can be a bit tricky on a controller to quickly aim, but you should still, like, you have another opportunity here to bubble her.
Oh, I need to back up. Run. Yeah, everyone go right.
And that's just a bit of bad aim, but whatever. And I don't know how much trouble you have with traps, but that was kind of visible. And you should kind of expect it when a Junkrat's running away from you. You can see him throw it there, and then it deploys right there. I can get you're kind of like focused in, but just
Everyone, no more else.
just be aware of traps and stuff in general from a retreating Junkrat.
All right, here's the thing. They have Torb though, so their turn's gonna be a big problem for you. All right, I can poke for a while and then get Grab Dragon. They don't have.
And in regards to the Pharah, who I assume you were responding to, that's going to be a problem for her. As long as you guys know, I mean, Pharah is great at dealing with the turret because the turret has limited range and Pharah doesn't. But as long as Torb doesn't have it in line of sight, it's still great for Pharah. Like she can just do whatever she likes against this specific composition.
Hanzo, you. Oh, never mind. You're not Hanzo anymore. Right, let's do Grab Death Blossom.
And this is a specific thing you might not know. So for Anna's anti-nade, you'll see Roadhog is purple here, right? He's got that purple bar, so he can't be healed. But your personal barrier will cleanse him of all debuffs. You can also use it on like a Mei who's freezing someone. You can bubble them just before they get frozen, and it'll undo. But yeah, it'd be good just to use it on him here because that way he can get healed.
Grab Death Blossom. Go left. Right. Ready, go. Here we go, boys.
Yeah, and that bubble's a bit early. Like you want to be taking damage before you actually bubble, so that way you know people are looking at you. And I think you don't really know who you want to shoot at here. You can do damage to all of them pretty well, but I would just go with, depending on how confident you are with your accuracy, go with just the lowest health pool, so that would be Torbjorn there. But you can see you're kind of, So you got the Orisa, but then you start looking at Torb.
Back up, back up, back up.
I don't know, it's a difficult situation. But yeah, you also need to bubble way sooner than that.
Oh, I need to run. I need to run. No, 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 no. We need to run. We need to run. We need to run. Oh shoot! I have nowhere to go, don't I? I need to run. I'm dead.
I think you're very afraid of Torbjorn's ultimate too, which isn't the most brutal thing. But I just want to show you how you can get out of that situation. Like you write that you think you should have gone under to the health pack, but it's not really necessary. I'm just going to assume this is a route you didn't know about, so that's why I wanted to show you. So you're down here, and while you can just jump up there, which is one thing, if this is cut off, you can also, because you're more in this area, you can just jump, and then you're free instead of just panicking into the corner. But that's whatever. It's very specific knowledge to know.
Don't push. That was a bad push. Bad one on my part. I didn't get graviton fast enough. That was my problem. Sorry about that. I still have graviton though. Yeah. Alright, we'll just group up. Alright, this time everyone go left. Because they're how many ults did they use? They used their pull pork.
And I think, like specifically, this is something I do. I think it definitely would help. So you're here discussing ultimates, and I'm trying to figure out what you have for ultimates. I know you looked when you spawned, but like you don't need to really be paying attention here. I would be just holding the I don't know what the button is on Xbox, but the button that pops up the display of everyone's team. So you can say you know that they have the hog one, but if you just have them in front of you, you can kind of think more what their heroes are, what ultimates were used, and you can see how much percentage your team has and what you can expect to have this battle. Because like Graviton isn't a great ultimate on its own, where
Don't solo.
like I don't know how close Moira is, but she can get her ult pretty quickly. So if she does, then you can use it as a combo, and she can penetrate all the barriers and stuff and hit everyone. And I don't know if you just don't see her there, but you should say Brigitte on the right. I'll just point her out to you again. So yeah, like she's obviously trying to sneak up on one of us, and so you like just if you're going to be a shot caller like I don't know how much your other team is saying. I can see a lot of bubbles, but obviously I can't hear it. This is just kind of something you need to be calling out if that's what you want to do with your role.
What do you want?
Okay, there you go.
Oh yeah, never mind.
No, you still didn't say anything.
I'm going left.
So I haven't seen this far. This is all new for me.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for a. I'm waiting for a whistle. Oh, Torb out of position. Get him. Punish him.
Nice.
Nice. Alright, going to the
Like so this like when you made that the last time you looked, Orisa was still just kind of standing there. I know you're like eager because you just got a kill and you do need to push quickly, but if it's just you and Reaper, this isn't going to go anywhere. Like Orisa might still be standing at choke. It's something I noticed with a lot of Orisas at low levels. They just kind of don't have the awareness. I don't know. They just think they should just be shielding and the rest of the team will do the damage, and then once someone dies, then they'll go in. So yeah, do a little look back. Okay, you are. But you need to tell that Orisa to get over here.
Ready? Alright, I'm gonna grab them. Ready? Alright. Far, are you ready? Go. Get him. Pound him.
And Farah isn't the one you need to, like, Moira is ulting, so she's clearly ready because she's already using her ultimate. You don't need to do so much communication with her.
Oh my god. That was a bad ult.
I don't think it was a terrible ult, it was just,
I rushed that, sorry.
yeah, Orisa wasn't there.
That's it, I'm going D.Va. Actually, no, I'll stay here. They have Junkrat, so. Dang it. Farah, next time, once I get graph combo with Barrage, alright?
And she didn't have Barrage anyway, so she couldn't have comboed. Unless she's somehow done a ton of damage since you last looked. So yeah, like I said, poking is kind of useless for you.
I'm just going orbital bombardment on them. You guys. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need healers.
And with Orisa as Zarya, it's kind of the hardest comp or hardest main tank to get charged with because like Ryan and Winston and just any other hero is like getting hit, where Orisa is just safe behind her shield, so it can be hard for you to maintain a high charge. So like you thought about D.Va, and I would say it's probably better to go D.Va with this main tank assisting you.
Oh shoot! Nice double.
So I don't know why you went in. I know you're not busy that you can't see. Pretty much your entire team died here.
Kills.
So that's 1, 2,
Oh shoot!
3,
Nice
4.
double.
So it's you and one other person still alive. And if you are going to try to fight this, your health was like 175 and both your healers are dead. Definitely go under to grab that health pack before trying to
Break one. Break was
fight.
one. No, break was one. Fast push, push, push. They don't have enough people.
So yeah,
By the way,
I think you are just unaware that your entire team died there. Definitely be paying attention to this. Like it's very informative.
Warhawk has his ultimate. Warhawk has his ultimate. Yeah, all right, that's it. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Back up, everyone. Break up. Break up. Break up.
So that bomb died. You should be able to see it here. You kind of delayed. And so now it's 5-on-5 because your Reaper's dead, but this is a good time to go in.
Where's the tire? You got the tire. Nice.
But yeah, you need to be telling your Orisa to push in at this situation.
I keep feeding. That's it. I'm bad. I'm not
But
doing this.
you see your Orisa still way back here.
You do that.
You're doing pretty good here. I don't know.
Oh, we got a lot of picks, guys. Get them.
Got 1, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Now's the time. Get them. How many picks do we have? We have the advantage. Get them. Get them.
No.
All right. That's it. This is our last push. All right. Everyone, no, come back. Come back. Come back.
I think it's too late to come back. Like, just have them die and then regroup. And this, I don't know if you know, D.Va, her gun is kind of like a shotgun, is how you should think of it in terms of range. So it's good up until like this pillar, maybe. Shooting from over there is a complete waste of time. Like, you're doing 1 damage per shot, maybe. Micro missiles can do something, but your actual primary fire, like, this is not a good hero to poke with. Even if you have infinite ammo.
All right, ready, ready. All right, on the count of 3. Yeah, ready. Oh shit. Let's go. Let's go.
So you said count of 3 and then just said, let's go, let's go. I mean, I don't think your Winston was going to listen anyways, but you definitely need to stick to one of the plans. And you should, like, Orisa's ultimate is just out in the open. You should just take care of that before anything. Okay, that's good. But, I mean, it's too little too late.
Yeah. That was not good.
I don't think your team could have won no matter how well you guys coordinated,
I did.
just because of the huge ultimate advantage they had.
I did terrible that round. All right, if that's the case, I'm going Orisa so I can pressure the choke. Do you want to go on like the on the? Yeah, but if we hold the bridge, then they only can only come from one point in the entrance.
I don't know what you guys are discussing, presumably where to set up here. But if you're going to do Orisa Bastion, unless you guys are going to set up on that high ground above the point, which I don't expect a silver team to be doing, just set up where people always do, because Orisa and Bastion, like, it's not just because it's a low level, like any level should be doing that if they're not going to set up on the high ground, which requires like a Symmetra to get up there.
Yeah, I don't think break's going to work. I don't think break is going to work. I doubt break is going to work. She doesn't have enough like sustain over time.
I think that's Brigida's biggest strength.
Okay, just play someone whoever you want. Alright. Are you sure we're doing this?
So yeah, I guess that's what you guys were discussing. You should definitely be up here. I think you are moving. Okay, good. Because that would have been very bad. Because I'll just go back here and kind of explain why it's bad. I might have jumped.
I doubt break is going to work. She doesn't have enough like sustain over time. If you don't know how to use her, it's okay to just play someone whoever you want. Alright. Are you sure we're doing this?
So yeah, being here, I'll just get there in person. I'll use Lucio because it doesn't really matter who I show you with. So yeah, if you're here, all you've got is like a point of view here. So people are always going to be just poking you, and you know they're in a pretty good position. Their entire team can easily get to these positions, and not only that, like this is where I kind of expect first thought would be for silver to go, but like the biggest vulnerability is I can just walk here as an attacker, going up here, all the way here, completely safe. And just be right behind you shooting Bastion and stuff. So yeah, this is a terrible spot if you did set up there. But it doesn't look like that's what's going to happen, thankfully.
Where are we going?
And just for the clarification, the other spot I meant was up here. A little trouble there. But yeah, just up here is a great spot because none of their team can really get up here. And you have the safety of here, but you don't have to worry about them flanking you and coming in here and pressuring you guys and splitting the Bastion's attention. So this would be the only other spot, but you do need someone to actually carry you up here. Here's definitely a good spot, and don't feel like, well, we should have been up here, because this is just as fine.
Fine, we're going bridge. I'll fortify as much as I can. Alright, I'm watching.
And this is just another little trick I'll show you for Orisa. So I want to just get into the same spot just to show you. But basically, you can shoot your shield straight up, and it will land exactly where you were, like the center of your body. So like you play your shield here, which is fine, but while the team's coming, just because they're going to try to break your shield to get to the Bastion, right? So in that cooldown, try to judge how much damage they're going to do, but if they're not actually going to be able to break your shield, you should just spend the time to launch it straight up. And you also have to remember what your shield cooldown is, because it might be gone by the time I mess that up. That's really embarrassing. But it'll come straight back down if you're actually looking straight up. I kind of flicked it down. So yeah, just be doing that because it's a shield the entire time, right? But if you look in the bottom left, that cooldown's still coming down. So it only takes 3 seconds until you actually get another shield. And it just allows you to have a more sustained shield game, because even if they burst, then you have 1600 shield instead of just the
Get
800.
this guy. Bastion, you stay on short. Oh, here they come. All right. Here comes Farah. He's up top.
And I would not be the one. I have to look at what your team is again, but I would not be the one worrying about the
Bring down another shield.
upper level.
Farah still.
Like, not to say you should never see. Like, you were looking straight up, you had no idea they're even over there. I didn't either. Put your shield down right away.
I freaking forgot my shield.
But yeah, I think Bastion was doing the same thing, looking at the Farah. So no, neither of you knew, and you are the two that need to be focusing about this.
Bastion right side. If you can't play Mercy, it's okay.
That's strange.
It's okay. Then don't play Mercy. All right, you guys just keep Moira alive. Just keep Moira alive, right? Just.
So here, I don't know if you do, but I would just be trying to shoot your shield in this general spot while they get back. And this point's pretty lost right now, so I would not be bothering to fight this.
I need to run.
I don't know why you're not if you're saying that. But it's not terrible, you have a chance.
I need to run.
Okay.
That's not, I can't push. I cannot touch that. Nope.
Like, maybe you guys could have if you'd supported the Hanzo more, but
Fall back.
that's a really bad shield. Like,
Let him take it.
I don't think you were trying to aim there, but you should be more aware of the angle it takes, because that was never going to be useful.
Throw down shield. Get behind it. Fall back.
And I don't know if you're going to do this, but one thing to be aware of as Orisa is, I'll just try to get a better view of it.
Alright, throw down my shield. Get behind it.
So, yeah. Let's just wait for Bastion. So, Bastion is quite low, right? And you're quite tall. So if you are going to be Orisa, you want to be behind the Bastion, because you can still see perfectly fine with Bastion in front of you. He can see nothing at all if you're in front of him. And I kind of noticed this here. You walk in front of him, right?
D.Va, get behind here.
He doesn't know, like, he can't see. That's why he's standing up and readjusting there. Hanzo should be like sonar arrow wing over here.
Alright, watch left. I'm watching left.
Shield again.
D.Va,
Yeah.
get behind the shield. I have supercharger, by the way. D.Va, get back here. What are
That was
you
a good pull. Like, that is what.
Well, I got their doom. So I mean,
I wouldn't blame your teams, right? Like, people make mistakes, and saying that kind of stuff just makes them feel worse and thinking harder about it. So this, I don't know how much this is going to kill, but this is 100% your fault that people die if they do.
I'm pulling them in.
So you hear that. You don't even have shield yet. You need to be looking where that is and put your shield right in front of it. Instead, you put it there, and you start, like, you can see where it is. It's behind you, exactly the direction you're going. You should be doing like the Bastion, just running on the other side of your shield.
Oh shoot! Oh no!
That Brigida saved you. That's amazing.
I'm pulling them in. Oh shoot!
I can't believe that. But yeah, that could have easily been 3 of you dead, and that's the point lost. One thing I would do in a situation like this is just deploy your supercharger right away and try to body block with it, because you don't have your shield anymore.
Oh no!
Yeah, like, it's a little delayed, but it's still good. I would try to look at who is attacking your supercharger and deal with them. So it looked like Doomfist, but he died, and then D.Va was also trying to shoot it. And I would, like, you use your shield to protect yourself. I would use it to protect your supercharger and yourself, of course, but the supercharger is more valuable, I'd say, than you right now. Another nice pull.
Hard.
Nice.
Hard, guys. Hard. Alright, nowhere else.
Bastion dream. He probably will die, but it's funny.
D.Va, what are you doing? Get back here. Here they come.
And yeah, if you want to say, like, come back here, just say, D.Va, come back. Don't say, like, D.Va, what are you doing? How stupid are you? Are you completely retarded? Right? Like, that's just the negative energy you're putting. Like, telling them where to position is fine, but saying it with, like, kind of a backhanded insult, it's just going to trigger your team. And probably yourself, too. And yeah, remember to look straight up and just shoot it when you have the time. And here they come. I kind of can't see. It's a little pixelated for me. It sounded like a Roadhog and Doomfist, but call out where they're coming from. Like, here they come is, I'm sure your team is aware. I don't know what you used Fortify for there, but Fortify is great against Doomfist, so it's good to use it. So yeah, you take 0 damage and you Fortify. Like, you just see a Roadhog hook someone else and you get scared. It's a pretty valuable little ability, so you shouldn't be wasting it like that. And this is another thing, it's very specific. It's with like D.Va and Orisa. When you're shooting, sorry, I got kicked from the game, made a little noise. When you're shooting as Orisa, whoops. So this is like your walking speed, right? But when you shoot, you go half speed, right? And so when you get hit, you still go half speed, even though you're just because you are shooting, like, it reduces all knockback by half. So you were doing it there, but yeah, if you're about to get punched and you don't have Fortify for Doomfist, just be shooting at him and like hold shooting no matter what, because it will have your knockback and prevent you from taking the whatever 150 damage you would have taken from smashing into a wall, because that punch would have definitely sent anyone else into the wall except you and D.Va. Just a weird, cool little trick. Because yeah, you see, you barely go anywhere there.
Literally what? What's that point? Junk.
And so you're going for the Junkrat, which is in a bad position, but you can tell by this grenade,
What's that point? It's junk.
right? It comes from your right, and Ana is a way more vulnerable target than a Junkrat in a small corner. Like, he's gonna just destroy anyone that comes back here. Well, he should.
Throw down another shield.
Also, it seems you didn't bother with the Junkrat. I don't know why you turned away.
Check behind, check behind. Behind. Junk.
Oh, that was lucky.
Nice.
I mean, it looks like he had like 7 HP anyways.
You're a main line of defense, dude. Alright, I'm gonna pull them on. I'm gonna pull them into the choke, and then you guys just blast them when they. I got We're like left. Alright. See.
Yeah, that's good.
Alright, I'm gonna throw down a fresh shield. D.Va, get back here. You get shot. No! D.Va, no, get back here. Get back here.
So yeah, you're blocking your Bastion's view there. Just try to shoot it from behind instead. So this is, yeah, good time to Fortify. And immediately use your ultimate, I would say. So shield that bomb.
Get my shield.
You didn't really look at where the bomb was. You just threw it. Because again, you could have blocked that.
Hanzo, if it's good time to ult.
And you tried to, but that bomb does take, like 3 seconds to actually blow up. You can really think about it and try to figure out where is it actually going to end up so you can shield that. Sometimes it ends up in a very awkward position, like exactly where you want to be, so it can be tough, but that was a pretty easy to project where it was going to end.
Alright, Bastion, next time, I'm gonna try and get Supercharger and we combo together, alright? Bastion, get back here. Alright, oh, that's so funny. That worked. That's so funny. That might actually work. D.Va, get back.
And the reason it won't work, I'm not 100% on the geometry here, but you know Roadhogs come from the right like 4 times in a row. And Roadhog's like the biggest counter on their team, I think, to the Bastion. You can just see him right here. So like, yeah, if they all come this way, it's great. He's back here. But like, Roadhog's gonna see him.
Oh shit! All right, give behind my shield. Nice. Someone's flying.
I think that was just the part blowing up or something. So you should call the right side.
I'm throwing down my shield. Throw down my shield.
Do not fortify against that ability, like, because Roadhog does like so much damage with this ultimate, but fortunately he blasts you a mile away, so it doesn't do as much. If you're fortifying, you're just eating all of this damage, which fortunately it doesn't actually damage you very much. But
Dude, good though. Oh my god.
our team is blowing some ultimates here.
I'm at 70. I can count again. Hey, Hanzo, look at me. Hanzo, look at me. When they come into the point, stand over here and then ult onto it. Force them off. Alright. Just everyone, just check the corners every once in a while. Alright, they're going right, guys. They're going right.
Yeah, that's important to communicate, especially because your Bastion is playing blind. So you do want to talk that out.
Nope. Alright, everyone back up, just back up, spread out. Someone's behind me.
Now, that got blown up, of course, but that's... Sorry, I'm not sure where I am. It looks like you're just about to lose, I guess, because... No, sorry. I'm not used to this player. You're only at 30 minutes. So I'm sure you know, but Junkrat drops a bunch of mines when he dies.
Someone's behind me.
You kill him and immediately put it down. Like, that's just unfortunate.
D.Va, no, do it now.
She just used it like a minute ago. So.
Hanzo, now's a good time to ult. Oh my god, Hanzo. Hanzo Pog.
Are those hits not hitting him? What? I feel like something's going wrong there. I don't know how you're not hitting that Hanzo, but you should just chart, yeah. Not into the health pack, but...
Get away from my friends. Sit.
Is he still at the Bastion?
Behind me. Yeah,
Yes, he's way off to the right. Okay.
You're going right again. You're going to go right again.
So one thing I would be willing or looking for is they have 3 seconds. Oh, someone's already contesting, but I was like, this Ryan's probably going to rush in. You want to charge him as he comes in. Like, be prepared for that. Okay, never mind.
Oh no, I'm gonna die! Get behind me! I'm gonna die, guys. I'm dead. No, guys, hang in there. Oh my god, Bastion! Bastion, yes!
I don't know who you switched to, but I feel like Ryan's a good choice. Like, just to stay with him. I don't know what your ultimate was, but okay. That you switched.